Just keeping it real. Every athlete, which I'm gonna talk about a little bit later, but every athlete goes through this moment where they have this gut wrenching feeling. They are going to cut me. Every athlete that has played basketball, professional, I can promise you they've all had that gut wrenching feeling of I'm about to get cut. And almost 100% of the time, it always happens.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
What's good, family? Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. If this is your first time, I help athletes prepare for a life of overseas basketball mentally, man. So if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. Welcome to the new year. It's been a while since I did an episode Dolo. It's just been the new year. A lot's been happening, been running around. The season full going. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot going on, but at all moments, always gotta remember to stay grateful. This whole process, every single day I get up and I just be grateful, man. You know what I mean? Just be grateful for the position that I am in life at this moment. I could be anywhere else. I could be anywhere else in this world, but I'm right here doing what I choose to do. Living out that life and experience that has been laid out for me for the decisions that I make every single day. I'm far from perfect. I'm far from understanding everything that's happening in my life at the moment, but I am very accepting of all that is in front of me. And a lot of times it's hard to stay accepting of everything that's been made and been offered up to you as a blessing, to keep it real, because if we don't have those moments of downtime, of doubt, of discouragement, we can't fully appreciate the moments of when things start to change and the shift starts happening. When the shift starts happening, you start to really realize that you're coming out of a situation that you've probably been in for so long that you've lost track of yourself. And someone might ask, like, what does this have to do with basketball? I thought this was a podcast or a show about a guy talking about basketball. And it's just the correlation of basketball towards life. You have to understand life first before you start talking about any career, living out any existence that you want for yourself. If we don't get the mind properly in the correct position to accept what we're asking for, we're not preparing ourselves. You have to prepare yourself at all times. And it's difficult at times because we fall into those down moments. We fall into it on the court when we're playing, and we be playing well, and you go through a slump. Doesn't matter at what point in your career or how much work you've been putting in, you go through a slump. That's just life. And the theme that I'm trying to portray today to you guys, to myself, to whoever ears or eyes this may touch, in order to understand what I'm saying, like, we just have to accept it all. We just got to accept it all. So I'm very gracious, very, very gracious of the moment and the time that I'm in, the position in life. Like, I'm just so grateful. And it's just so funny because situations be going on for a moment and we think, man, I'm just stuck in this bad moment for so long, and when will it ever end? And when it ends, you're like, wow, I wasn't even really in that situation that long as I made it to be. So what we have to understand is the control of your mind in the situations that you are in is a decision you choose in your life. There is no outside circumstances that can dictate the way you perceive what is meant for you, whether that's in a good way or in a positive way. You ultimately get the opportunity to choose what you focus on and what you choose to accept. You get to focus on that. So once again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It feels good to be back. We have been on the road. I like to give you guys just a perspective of an average pro living out his lifestyle. This is my 11th year. I don't even understand if it's my 11th year or 12th year at this point, but I do know this is my 3rd year on YouTube, or just starting this whole process. February 2nd, 2022 is when I started. It's 2025, 22nd as of this recording. And so I'm 3 years in. Are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. 3 years in, and I've understood about this journey. It just correlates to everything else that has happened in my life. You have to build your way up. Nothing's just going to be given to you. This part of the journey is what you've been searching for and seeking for. Why is that? It's 3 years in. That means you haven't had no help from anyone else, outside sources. You had to buy every light, every camera, every microphone, record every video, edit every video, upload, post, do all that. The work, and don't see retribution from it. Meaning, like, I'm not monetized yet. At this point, I don't know, I'm close to 3,000 subscribers. I got my goal for 10,000 subscribers this year. That's my goal, you know? And not even thinking about the monetization process is just, I understand in order to get to what you want in life, ultimately, you have to put the necessary work and be dedicated to the work that is necessary in order to have that. Because ultimately, that is what will supply everything for you. I love to say it. Just the words alone give me passion. Your work will not fail you. All the late nights, all the days you didn't want to do something, all the moments where you feel like, why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? I'm trying my hardest and I'm just so confused. I just don't know what to do next. This is not working. So many things, just so many moments that happen to us all. That's the process that it takes to get through, to get exactly what you want. I was about 14, 15 years old. I remember I was about 14, 15 years old. I'm sitting in my parking lot, in my dad's parking lot. My dad just built a home. He went and bought me a goal. He went and bought me a goal, a basketball goal. I was going into my junior year. Actually, I'm sorry, I was going into my senior year. And he bought me a goal probably earlier along in that year. I'm trying to set the mood so you can understand my thought process at that moment. I was a junior, I had no college offers. Zero college offers. And I was playing on varsity, but I just wasn't good. And my cousin at the time was getting offered from like Florida. He already signed to a high major D2 school early, and I didn't hit that spurt yet. And I remember before going into that summer, my coach said, I was benching like 135. That's 245 plates in the bar, like maybe 5 times. Going into my senior year. And my coach said, before the season start, you have to be benching 185. You have to be able to max out 185. So I was just like, man, how am I gonna do this? I'm benching 135. So I strictly remember working out. I used to get up at 5 in the morning and go to the YMCA. My assistant coach, the personal trainer assistant coach, used to come and pick me up at 5 in the morning and take me to the YMCA and work me out. Weights, legs, just from the whole summer. And my dad bought me a goal. Because I was like, why don't we have a goal here? The same day we went and bought a goal. And I just remember I used to shoot in the morning before school. On the days I didn't go to the weight room, because most of maybe 3 days out of the week, we probably went to the weight room. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday and Thursday, I'm up in the morning, getting shots up before school. Ball wet, just getting shots up. After school, just getting shots up. And I remember it just like, it clicked. Just the consistency. Just pushing through. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't understand how I'm going to achieve this goal. I don't know what I can do to accomplish this task that I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to college. I'm trying to, go D1. I'm just trying to get to college. I'm just trying to, basically get something. I'm about to be a senior. I got no offers. And I still want to play basketball. So my coach, you gotta bench 185. So I was working out in the mornings, hitting the weight room. Not even realize that I'm getting stronger. Because I'm just consistently in there. That's the first time in my life I was consistently in the weight room. Just after school, getting shots up. And then I remember I played my final AAU round. I got invited. My coach took me to it was the last day of a good team. I think it was Florida Elite, a really good AAU team. Took me to the last tryout. I missed all the other tryouts. It's my only chance. And I was cooking. I was cooking. The coach was like, I want him on my squad. I'm hitting shots, getting through the lane, things I've never done before against players who I felt were just high caliber players. I can't compete. How do I compete with these type of guys? I'm cooking. I never in my life was able to do the things on the court in that like ever. It all of the work just caught up at the right time. You got to understand you don't know the time that's meant for you, for your moment or whatever it is that you're searching for, whatever that's maybe in sports, in life, job, career, entrepreneurship, money, whatever it is. It's the consistent work that you do that you do not understand that is going to show up in the most opportunistic time that you need it to be. If we can just get out of the mindset of when is it going to happen and get it in the mindset of staying locked in and focusing on the work. What is the work that I need to do today to move the needle in my favor to become better at whatever it is that I am doing? How do I become a better speaker to translate the message that's inside of me to help someone else? How do I get in better shape to be able to compete at a higher level? How do I incorporate getting stronger while in season to give me a better advantage on the court? Stay locked in into the moments, into the work. Stay locked into the work because it's going to show. Whenever you just have to stay committed to the work. It's going to show. Even when you don't believe it is, I promise you it's going to show. Your work will never fail you. Your work will never fail you. So if you ever felt like, man, I've been going hard and I've been doing all this work and it ain't showing up and nothing ain't happening, it doesn't matter how long it takes, just always know that it's going to happen. But it is only going to happen if you stay committed to the work that is required. If I want to go D1, I have to do the work. I have to stay committed to the work that is necessary. If I want to go pro, I have to stay committed to the work that is necessary in order for me to get there. If you cheat the work, you cheat the process, meaning that I'm going to take 2 weeks off. So the eighth wonder in the world, compound interest. Compound interest. If you just understand compound interest and how effective and why you must start today on whatever task that you are doing, if you just understand the law of compound interest, the eighth wonder in the world, and it literally involves everything. It includes everything that you do. It's in all aspects, in your reading, in your studying, in your meditation, in your work habits, in the time you put into your gym, the time you put into your mind, what you eat into your body. It's all compound interest into what you're doing. And when you understand how powerful that is, you will say that no matter what, if I even just have to stretch today, don't miss a day to stretch, because ultimately I'm doing something to better my body. Some people go 5 years, or maybe I'm being a little extravagant. Let's say 5 days, 6 days without a proper stretch for more than 10 to 15 minutes. It's my goal to stretch, and I like to say it's my goal because you're not going to be able to do it every day. But if I can just do it, focus on this day, almost every single day, or 90% of the times, unless I'm here traveling or something, even on the bus, I'm stretching. I have to get at least 15 to 30 minutes of stretch a day, every night. I got my yoga mat, I got my stretching board, and I take that with me on the road everywhere I go because it's like just those things add up. You're going through a grueling season and you just getting games after games and you don't even realize, like, man, my body's tightening up on me. Because you have to focus in on the stretching part. You have to focus in on getting the weights done and working out and keeping your body strong and just absorbing of all the physicality that just goes through a normal season. Every day that we just disregard it and don't do anything, you're deteriorating. You're either getting there, nothing stays the same. You're either going down or you're going up. And the forces that are pulling us down, if you are not focused, it's going to be way stronger than any willpower you think I'm just going to show up to the gym on game day. I'm not going to train. It's basically what you're saying. I'm going to go to the game without no training. I'm not going to prepare myself. I'm just thinking I can show up and get it done. No, you train your way. You stay ready. Stay ready. But like I said, man, I'm glad to be back on the pod. Just telling y'all, we're in the middle of the season. Maybe not in the middle of the season. We crossed over the middle of the season. So after you get through Christmas break, most of the time you got to just see if you make it through Christmas break. I made it through Christmas break. The last 2 games of the season was real iffy. I didn't think I was going to be continuously being here. Just keeping it real. Every athlete, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, but every athlete goes through this moment where they have this gut-wrenching feeling. They are going to cut me. Every athlete that has played basketball, professional, I can promise you they've all had that gut-wrenching feeling of I'm about to get cut. And almost 100% of the time, it always happens. It's like that energy that you put out of that feeling is so strong, it inevitably always happens. And I hope I said that word right. But it inevitably almost always happens. It almost always happens. Once you get that feeling, it just not it. If you know, that energy does not lie. And I was creeping up on that feeling, but it wasn't, when it's overbearing, you know for a fact. So the last 2, I was feeling like, you know what? I think maybe they might be wanting to change me. I think they might want to change me. I think they're going to cut me. But it's cool because I'm in my head, I'm like, I had 2 thoughts going on in that moment. I was really like, either I'm going to stick this out and I'm going to ride this whole situation out and really just get mentally tough and be able to not let a bad predicament win over me. Because I can say, you know what? I can leave right now. I can leave and go find another team. I can probably go back to Chile. I can probably wait it out. I can go to Mexico. Or I can stick through this and fight and mentally lock in and mentally make a situation that seems in a down moment, it was a down moment. Like things was not going well. It wasn't going well with the team. My play was down. Everything was just down. It was not a good, I wasn't playing my best basketball. I was just not playing my best basketball. And I got a chance to just walk away. Or I can say, you know what? I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to turn this whole situation around by just locking all the way in and making it everything that making it into what I desire it to be, not what I'm choosing to accept. As far as, I'm not going to let this situation, this is a great opportunity for me to overcome a situation. I had those two options. Some of my friends are telling me, go ahead, if you're unhappy, you know, you've been in the game, you don't have to deserve to, you know, stick this out. You got enough on your resume to do this and probably find a good job for sure. It's not going to tarnish you. You've been there enough. So, you know, and I was like, but I want to make it through the whole season. I want to ball. Like, I want to show, like, this is where I belong. Like, this is not that, you know, oh, he made it to a top team and then he got cut. So it, like, we create these perceptions in our head from what the marketplace talks about your situation as a player. However, if you just stay true to the player that you know that you are because of the work that you've put in, and just trust your work. I was like, the work that I've done, I know I deserve the opportunity I got, because I would not be in the opportunity if it was not for the work. And it, basically, I have the choice to turn this around. I could say, you know what, the work that I've put in is going to overpower this situation. And that's how much I believe in my work to overcome this situation and make the best out of it. And ultimately, that's what happened. You know, we had the last two games of the season. Unfortunately, one of our players got hurt. And that was a player I was playing behind. And I balled out. I went 9 for 9 in one game, and I had like 16 and 13 in another game. We won against the number one team at home. I balled out. All the talk and the chatter about we don't know if we might want to make a change, or am I good enough, basically, because it was kind of boiling down to, was I good enough? Because, and I'm complaining about playing time, and I'm complaining about my time and not accepting the role that I'm in. Perhaps I wasn't accepting the role of what I was in, or where I was at on the team. That was hindering me because I was allowing that to affect me. I had the choice to make. I have the choice to either accept what's in front of me and go about what can I do in this situation to get the best results, or you choose to complain and gripe and complain about it and just live with that negative energy and blame it on someone else. And that's what I did. That's why I had a horrible time and was on the bridge of getting cut off the team. And then an opportunity presented itself. Through all my negativity, an opportunity presented myself. I had the last two games of the season, pretty much was going to dictate whether or not I stay on the team. In the last two games, I had a chance to prove. It was like literally the last opportunity I had, the last two games. And I was able to play. And I never did this in one time in my entire career. Didn't miss a shot. Never in my entire career that's ever happened to me. And I did that. And then the next game we balled out against the first place team and we beat them. So it reminded me to remember that your time is always going to be for you. You just have to stay consistent and stay ready for when it does come, because it's going to come. You don't have to worry about, is your moment going to come? It's going to come. You just have to stay in a position in your life that when it does, you're able to accept it and dominate it. When you get your opportunity, put your stamp on it. Make it so it's no other way. You know what, my friend, shout out to Nathan. Shout out to my boy Nate Thomas. Nate, brother, he said, it's your job to show them why you belong there. That's on you. That might have been Nate or that might be my boy Jerry. I talk to them so much. It's one of them. But he said it's your job to make it impossible for him to keep you off the court. That's your job. And I'm shown it's impossible for you to keep me off the court. If you keep me off the court, you're a fool. Not a fool, I'm not going to call my coach a fool, but you know what you have. The whole organization knows what you bring to the table now. Because you had your opportunity and you got to show what you're going to do with it. And I showed, hey, I am exactly who y'all thought I was. I'm exactly who I believe that I am. I know exactly the player I am. I know what I believe in. I know why I'm here. I know what I came to do, and nothing's going to stop me from doing that. If you don't believe in that, that is on you. But one thing you cannot do is you can't deny it. You can't deny this hunger. You can't deny this grind. You can't deny the work that I put into myself to always be able to show up when the moment comes and dominate the moment. Let's focus on the work that is needed to dominate the moments when they present themselves to us. Isn't that an amazing opportunity? To be able to dominate a moment that has been given to you and to be prepared for the moment, for when it comes. Really being prepared for that moment for when it comes because you have been putting in all this work and all this time. You're in autopilot. That's the thing. When it happens, you're not going to even have to think about it because you're going to be in that. It's naturally, instinctively just going to do what it do on its own because you have done it's just, you don't have to think about breathing. For those who do, I'm sorry, but in general, you don't have to think because that's your natural flow. Once you get in those moments, man, you get into that flow state. When you get into that flow state in life, there was a quote that I heard on a song I was just listening to. On a song, he said, when you locked in, it's like a trance. You know how deep that is? When you're locked in, it's like a trance. It's like you get to the moment in life where it's just like, things are moving in slow motion. Everything is happening for me because all the work that I've put in is taking care of itself. It's like you get into a trance of life and it's just like, wow, man, this is everything that I've been waiting and hoping and wishing for, and it's happening. It's happening, and I'm just like, I'm grateful because it's like, wow, man, that you get that overwhelming feeling like, man, it's really working for me. This can really happen. I can really see it. You get into that trance state where you just ultimately locked in. I'm up reading, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm putting in extra work, I'm grinding, I'm putting up extra shots, I'm reading, I'm focusing my mind like I'm locked in. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. So getting back to the season, a lot's been happening in the season lately. Lots been happening in the season. One of our players got cut, a local player. You know, they decided to cut my man's one. They decided to cut him the day we had a cup. We had a cup championship. The team who won the championship last year versus the team that won the cup last year. This team won the cup last year. That team won the championship last year. They played for the cup. We played against them. We played against a team called Boca Juniors. We played in Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is pretty much home for them because their team is in Buenos Aires. So they pretty much had home court advantage. And they played like it. That's one thing I could say in Argentina, bro. And they got an outstanding crowd. It'd be jumping in there. And it'd be jumping in there. Refs did a good job of ref, and I can't put no bias on the ref and say it'd be feeling like they're kind of biased towards the home team. I'm not gonna lie, they do, because I feel it when I'm at home. They give us just so much more calls at home. We just get the whistle just so much more at home. It is what it is. We just cannot get a dub on the road. We struggle on the road. I don't understand it. We struggle on the road. And because of that, we dropped some games. But we had the cup game. We ended up losing the cup game. They got away at the end. It is what it is. But one of our players who's been with us the whole season, he was here before I got there. You know, the guy was sitting right next to me. And I will say it's not coincidence you're sitting right next to me. I actually ordered some Kobe's that were coming to give to him. And he got cut. You know, I'm gonna still find a way to get it to him. But it just shows the lifestyle, even for local players. He's a local player. But in Argentina, they cut local players all the time. He ended up getting cut, which is crazy. Because it was literally right after they got this thing called merienda. Or we went to lunch. I guess it happened after lunch. But I think it was right at the merienda time. So merienda is like they go to sleep. It's called siesta. So about from 2 to 6, 2 to 5, they go take a nap, siesta. And then after that, they have a lunch because they eat so late. So it's called merienda. Merienda is like a light lunch. Eggs, bread, fruit. Pretty much like breakfast again. But they call it merienda. And I realized they only do that here in Argentina. That's not like a South American thing. That's an Argentinian thing. So we do the merienda. And then we go to the game. And then we have dinner at night after the game. He got cut at the merienda. So right before we was going to the game. So after merienda, probably like it's an hour 15 before we leave. So we eat, go change, get ready, and then we leave. He got cut right before we were headed to the game. And to me, I was like, what terrible timing to do that, because you just messed up our whole team chemistry. You just messed up the whole team chemistry because you put it in, now it's on everybody's head. It's a distraction. It's just a huge distraction. And then you just mess up the whole chemistry of the team because this guy played a lot. So I remember specifically talking to him in practice and telling him, hey, when you do this, I'm right here. So we build up that chemistry with a player and, as one of your teammates, and you get that chemistry, and he knows when I go, you pass me here. When you go, I'm normally here. Those type of situations start to happen, and then it's broken because now it's like you're literally out of sync. Because here, it's like we got the first group and the second group. So a lot of the times I'm not playing unless I start. I'm not playing with the first group. I'm playing with the same guys in practice, the same guy in the games. So I have more of a chemistry with these people, these group of teammates. I don't like that because it's like I'm never going to play with my other teammates, so it's going to be hard for us to understand where we like the ball, how to play together, because we don't even get reps in practice or the games. Like, it's a whole team. Everybody needs to know how to play with the whole team. It can't just be first group, second group, and that's how they do it. That's how it is. But he was part of the second unit with me, and he got cut right before the game. Right before the game, he got cut. And I don't know. I feel like that affected us. I feel like that really affected us as a unit. In the championship game, man, you gonna do that right before the championship game? Like, come on, bro. Like, speaking of getting cut, how ruthless this is, at the moment of this recording, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't want to speak it and say that it does happen, but this is the situation. I'm not even going to speak on who it is. It's just somebody I know. Very high elite, well put together player as far as has a lot of accolades, has a huge resume, great player, known across South America, is playing for a big team. And they're talking about getting rid of him. The news is so big. I'm in the game. We just played a road game after the cup game. We lost that game on the road. One of the ex-players was his teammate. I've never met this guy before in my life. I know him strictly because he played with this player. And he was asking me, yo, is he going to get cut? What's going on with his situation? And here's a guy I've never met before, talking to me during the game about this situation with another player. That's how big of the situation it is. My agent wrote me today forwarding me messages about his situation. My agent. And I'm like, wow. My teammates, before the game, or a day before the game, we're having an asado. We're chilling together as a team, as a unit. After tough losses and things like that, that's one thing about Argentina. They're gonna have those asados. We're gonna get together. Got together. They barbecued. If you know what asado is, it's a barbecue. They barbecued and we just chopped it up, enjoyed each other's, enjoy more than just always practicing and traveling and doing all that. We had time to sit down and enjoy each other's company as teammates, as, individuals who's trying to accomplish a goal together as a team. As a team, creating that bond that every team needs in difficult situations and difficult times. Right now, dropping 3 games out of 4 on the road. It's tough. Losing a player right before a championship game. It's tough. It weighs on you mentally. You go through it and you're like, man, it's a down moment. It's a down moment as a unit, but we gotta, like I said, after the last game, I was like, sigamos, keep going. We keep going. We got a long season. But as we were all partaking and chilling together, they asking me, hey, I read an article about your boy saying that he probably not going to be on the team no more. I'm like, it's amazing it's amazing the information that gets passed down through country to country at a moment. Like, people are really watching. They be on Twitter, they be on all the sites. I guess because I'm just so big into my finances, I don't focus. I choose what I look at. So I don't really watch a lot of league news. I follow the league and basketball pages and stuff, but I don't really go on Twitter to see every little move, or I don't be on threads. Maybe I need to get on there more to stay more in depth and stay more locked in on what's going on around the leagues and what people are talking about, and using more of that part of the social media as far as writing and articles to get information. I just see who's highlights, and I follow the highlight pages and the league pages and agents pages to see what agents are getting guys where. I'm starting to follow a lot of agent pages. Even though I got my agent, it's still good to follow and see what market they're in, and how you could probably correlate with them and get to know them and see if they can help you get into a certain market, because these are the type of players, and you could tell by where their players are going. Follow them. They gonna follow you back. They get to see your highlights. You're shopping yourself to everybody at the same time. A guy might be like, hey, I can get you a job somewhere. I'll take it. But they were talking about this situation for him, and it's just so crazy. All this, how word spreads. Word spreading. Like, man, it's just hot news. It's a hot take. It's a hot take of what's going on. They're trying to get my boy up out of there. My agent sending me forwarded messages. They're trying to get him up out of there. That's tough. All the accomplishments, all the stuff you do, you believe, man, I've done so much. I've accomplished so much. How could you not see the value in me and think that it's my fault? Deep into the career, 12, 13 years into the career, 9, 10 championships coming off back to back. Like, it just don't matter. No one in this game at any level is exempt from getting cut. No one is exempt from getting traded. No one is exempt. I hate to say it, but there ain't no love in this game. That doesn't mean you're not going to find great people that you're going to work with and find in great organizations that some will really take care of your countries. Like Chile has really taken care of me, and I can have nothing bad to say. I even put out a reel. I posted the other day when we were with the team, and because I was recording vlog. I'm doing a lot of vlogging now on the roads, and I'm vlogging, and they picked up the camera and they start playing like, what do you prefer? And they asked me, Chile or Argentina? And I said, Chile. Of course I'm going to pick Chile. I've been to Chile. Chile made me into the player that I am today. I spent so much time there. I've accomplished so much. The confidence that I've been able to do, the records I'm hold, the history that I've been able to make and be, that's a part of me. That's a big part of my career. So of course I would choose them over Argentina. Like Argentina's cool, but y'all are kind of, y'all kind of arrogant. To all my Argentinians, you're kind of arrogant. I love you, but you're kind of arrogant. I do love you, but man, you guys are arrogant. And I love my Chileans. They're kind of dumb. They probably gonna say something about us Americans. Probably the same thing, but that's just, I love them to death. They're a little dumb. I love my Argentinians. They're a little arrogant. They'll probably tell you to themselves, yeah, we're a little arrogant. We got a lot of confidence in ourselves. Hey, if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. This game is ruthless though. That's how it is. That's how it is. And it was a quote I told him. I told my boy, and he said that his girl said the same thing. But I say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You want to be a superstar. You want to be great. You want to be an outstanding MVP, high caliber player. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Because you're going to have to deal with the pressures that come along with it. You have to live up to whatever there is that you are proclaiming to be an opportunity that is given up to you, that is given to you. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You want that crown? You got to be mentally prepared for it. You got to be able to walk in it. You got to be able to be accepting of everything that comes with that crown. Because guess what? It's heavy. It's heavy. But those that are built for it, you can wear it. You can handle it. Doesn't matter. You understand, like, this is just part of it. This is just part of it. The acceptance part. Once you understand and can accept, just accept your path, your journey, whatever is meant for you, and whatever sport, whatever walk of life, when you can understand, all I have to do is just accept what is laid out for me. And if I choose to go after it, all I got to do is stay consistently working at it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Heavy is the head, brother. Hey man, if you hear this, just know, like, I'm rooting for you. I'm here with you. You need guys in this game, especially in this, when I'm talking about this overseas basketball life, you need guys in this game that you're close with. Guys you can reach out and talk to and vent to and say your frustrations. In my book, I wrote my book, you have to have a group chat of guys that you are close to, that are players that are just going through the same thing, like guys you really connect with, that those guys that you keep that group chat whenever you leave from that team, and y'all are still talking to each other and you're still close and you're still in communication, and you know that you rock with it. I got that with my best friend and my boy Austin. We created the group. We had just such a great time together. We made content together. We was on the podcast, chopping it up together all the time. It was just a great vibe. We made it all the way to the championship. We made it to the championship, but we lost in the championship. But the journey that we had together was just magnificent. It was one of the best times I had overseas, because I was able to formulate a good group of guys for a good moment in time. Because it's like when you're with these group of guys and you're enjoying it so much, you don't want it to end. But inevitably, I keep saying that word, I'm butchering that word, but normally it's gonna end. It has to end. So you just cherish those times and that you can have with those guys. Keep a good group chat. That's a part of my book. Keeping a good group chat of guys. Creating that group chat. Be with people that you could talk with and you can be like, hey man, this is my situation. Or when you're tuning in. And for me, what I love to do is when I'm watching my guys play, whoever it is, I'm commentating to them in the voicemail, in the voice message. Like when my boy Big Deuce is playing, I'm talking. When my boy B is playing, I'm telling him, hey man, you should have pulled up. Hey, you should have got that rebound. And he does the same thing to me. Like, hey, you need to get that. It's as if he's talking to me in that very moment. And that energy is getting passed down to me, because I promise you that is a real thing. That's why I do it. That's why it's so important, because we don't understand the energy that we project into this world towards a person. We think it's nothing. Once you understand the power of the words in your tongue and the energy that it exudes, and how you can be lifting a person up from hundreds and thousands of miles away, because you're in tune and you're in connection with them, and you're telling them, hey bro, box out. You telling them to that, you're writing it, you're making it real, you're putting it out there in the ether. That's going to transfer to you. You're going to feel that. I remember specifically, my boy B was in a game and he was struggling, and I told him, I'm sitting here coaching, I'm literally saying everything to him before he do it. Jab pull, he jab pull, it go in. Knock down these 2 free throws. Boom. He coming down. I'm like, flow game. Floater. Good. I'm literally, it was the most, I was amazed, but not amazed at the same time, because I just understand. I don't know who I was with. I think I was with my ex at the time. And I'm sitting here I'm going crazy, because I'm saying, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I'm sitting here telling her like I'm telling him, but that's just the powerful energy of having someone that really rocks with you, putting out that energy towards you. Like I'm from my culture, in the black culture, they be like, you had a praying grandma. Somebody was praying for you. Somebody is putting out that energy out into the world to protect you and praying for your success. You're not doing it by yourself. So be that for someone. Be that for your boy. I try to tune into all of my homeboys' games at all times. If I'm not busy with like studying or something, or I ain't got something going on. Because I understand me just tuning in and watching and giving forth my energy for them to play. They feel that is going to give them a boost. That's why we say, hey man, I'm trying to get the passwords and pass out and give the games to your people back at home, because you want that support and energy. When to your family, like, yeah, I'm tuning in and I'm watching, they critique you and they say what they see or whatever, that fuels you. That's the energy that you need. That's why it's so important to have your boy back, to tune in, to have a group chat. Like I said, I explained that in my book, how just preparing to be, if you want to understand what you really like. A lot of people could tell you, go get this agent, go do this, go do that, go this. It's like, I just formulated these 6 little steps that it's just, people just don't understand. The character part of it, the traits, like building these traits, like these simple things that you think that get overlooked. But one thing that I understand is, like I said, the compound interest of taking in the information that you don't even realize that you needed, that's going to pay you dividends in the future. To be able to say I'm 12 years in and I've taken this information from year 1, year 2, year 3, or whenever I receive it, and I started applying this information, and I was able to skyrocket my career in such a short amount of time because I have a piece of information that I would have never had before. I tuned into this and I'm getting information that I've never gotten before. I never had YouTube wasn't around like that. Facebook wasn't, there was nobody, just podcast booming and people just talking about and giving perspectives of what you're trying to pursue. Now you could probably get a podcast about teen moms. You could get podcasts about mystery stories, murder mysteries, whatever it may be. You could get a podcast about talking about dogs all day. You know, I'm just someone, I created a podcast about talking about overseas basketball. And experience, like I say, experience is the best teacher. I'm just giving y'all my experience in like real time. Real time. These are real time situations that happen at these very moments. And this is just something like you will experience in life in general at all stages. You will experience these moments. So it's so much better when you hear it from somebody in that moment and you can relate to that. And when it happens, you can say, I remember, and you can relate back to that. And you just take the gems and information about all the stuff that we talk about here, finances, group chats, just keeping your mind right, just creating the mental and just locking in every little thing, just going through it with someone who's been in the game, that understands, and just growing in this whole process of life myself. Like y'all watching me grow right now. Every time I post, I'm growing a little bit more. Every time I decide to, you know what, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna edit this, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna put this content, I'm growing a little bit more because there's nothing outside telling me I have to do this, but this is something I know that is developing me and creating me into the person that I ultimately am called to be and want to be and choose to be. And we get to do this together. So I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for whoever this helps. I'm grateful for all the process. I hope you guys enjoyed my living experience at this moment. I appreciate you guys. That's all I got for this episode, man. Till next time, man.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.